The diner smelled of fried bacon and fresh coffee, but for Emily Harper, the sweet aroma couldn't mask the nervous knot in her stomach. At just 16, Emily had grown used to the whispers and laughter that followed her everywhere. Growing up on a farm meant she had strong hands, a wide frame, and clothes that never quite fit the way she wished they would. Her classmates called her Piggy behind her back, and sometimes right to her face. But today, she just wanted a peaceful breakfast with her dad at the old roadside diner before heading to the feed store. Emily slid into a red leather booth, her father following close behind. Jack Harper was a man who carried himself with quiet authority. His shoulders were broad, his jawline sharp, and his eyes, cold, steel blue, always scanning the room. A veteran of the Marine Corps, Jack had lived through wars that most people only saw in movies. But here, in this small town, he was simply the farmer on County Road 12. And to Emily, the only person who saw her as more than the cruel names others gave her. The bell above the diner door jingled, and 3 boys walked in. High schoolers, the same grade as Emily. She recognized them instantly: Travis, the loudmouth leader, Nate, who laughed at everything Travis said, and Cody, the tallest, always standing in the back but never stopping the cruelty. They spotted her right away. Well, if it isn't Farmer Piggy. Travis sneered loud enough for half the diner to hear. He shoved Cody toward the booth, grinning. "Careful, Cody, don't sit too close. She might eat your fries." The laughter that followed was like a punch to Emily's chest. Her cheeks burned crimson, and she instinctively tried to shrink into herself, wishing she could disappear. Jack's fork froze mid-air. His gaze shifted slowly from his plate to the boys, his jaw tightening. But he didn't say anything yet. He wanted to see how his daughter would handle it. Emily's eyes welled with tears, but she forced herself to breathe. Her father had always told her that bullies fed on reactions, that strength wasn't about fists but about dignity. She tried to ignore them, but Travis leaned over the booth, snatching a piece of bacon from her plate. "What's this?" "Fuel for the pig," he mocked, dangling the bacon just out of her reach before tossing it in his mouth. Nate laughed so hard he nearly choked on his own milkshake. The diner grew uncomfortably quiet. A few customers looked away, pretending not to notice. Others shook their heads but said nothing. Emily gripped her fork so tight her knuckles turned white. She wanted to scream, to fight back, but years of humiliation had taught her silence. Then Jack moved. He stood slowly, towering over the boys. His presence was like a storm rolling in, silent but heavy, the kind that made the hairs on your neck stand up. Travis tried to hide his nervousness behind a smirk, but his voice faltered as Jack stepped closer. "Apologize," Jack said, his tone calm but deadly. "What?" Travis stammered. "You heard me. You walk into this diner, insult my daughter, steal her food, and think you can laugh about it." Jack's voice cut through the air like a blade. "You're going to apologize." Travis puffed out his chest, trying to look tough. "It's just a joke, old man. Don't get all bent out of shape." In one swift motion, Jack slammed his hand on the table beside them. The plates rattled, and every eye in the diner turned toward the scene. He leaned in, his voice low, cold, and commanding, the voice of a Marine who had ordered men into battle. "You think you're tough? I've seen real tough. I've buried brothers who were braver than you'll ever be. You want to mock my daughter for her size? Try working soon up to sundown in the fields. Try hauling hay bales in the heat while others sit in air conditioning. She's stronger than you'll ever dream of being. So you will apologize, or I will make sure the entire town knows exactly what kind of cowards you are." The color drained from Travis's face. For the first time, he realized this wasn't just some fat girl he was picking on. This was the daughter of a man who had faced enemies with weapons in their hands and lived to tell the tale. I'm sorry," Travis muttered, his bravado gone. He nudged Nate and Cody, who echoed the apology, their voices barely above a whisper. Emily's eyes widened. She had never seen them back down before. Jack straightened, his voice calm again. "No leave." The boys scrambled out of the diner, their laughter replaced with silence and shame. The room exhaled, and a few customers even clapped quietly. Emily sat there in shock, tears rolling down her cheeks, not from pain this time, but from pride. Her father returned to the booth, his expression softening. "You don't let them define you, Emily. They see weakness because they're blind. I see strength. One day, they'll wish they had half your courage." Emily smiled through her tears. For the first time, she believed him. That day in the diner became a turning point. Word spread quickly around town, not just about what Jack had said, but about Emily herself. The story of the fat farm girl who held her head high while bullies were put in their place by her Marine father grew into something more. Teachers began checking in, classmates thought twice before mocking her, and slowly Emily realized that she had nothing to be ashamed of. The bullies never bothered her again. In fact, Travis avoided eye contact every time their paths crossed at school. Emily discovered a new kind of confidence, not because her father had fought her battle, but because he reminded her of her own worth. And from then on, whenever she walked into that diner, she did so with her head high, shoulders back, and a quiet strength that no insult could touch. Because she knew the truth, her size wasn't her weakness, it was part of her story. And with her father by her side, she would never let anyone make her feel small again. The diner incident spread through town like wildfire. By the next morning, whispers had reached the school hallways. Emily walked down the corridor with her books clutched to her chest, her usual nerves weighing on her shoulders. Normally, this was when the laughter started. The snickers, the snide comments, the whispered names. But today, the halls felt different. People stared, yes, but not with mocking grins. Instead, there was a strange mix of curiosity and hesitation, as if the story had softened the edges of their cruelty. Travis and his friends were there too. They leaned against the lockers, but their usual smug confidence was gone. Travis's eyes darted away the moment Emily glanced in his direction. Nate gave her an awkward nod, as if unsure whether to act like nothing happened or to apologize again. For the first time, Emily didn't feel like prey walking past a pack of wolves. At lunch, she sat alone as usual, but something unexpected happened. Sarah, a quiet girl from her math class, walked over with her tray. "Is this seat taken?" she asked softly. Emily blinked surprise, then shook her head. Sarah sat down, offering a small smile. "I heard what happened at the diner. That was amazing. Your dad is incredible." Emily felt her cheeks warm, not from embarrassment but from something unfamiliar. Pride. For years she had wished to blend into the background, to be invisible. Now, she was being noticed for something other than her weight. That evening, back at the farm, Emily found her father mending the old wooden fence. She joined him, holding the planks steady as he hammered. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in gold and purple. "Dad," she began, hesitating, "thank you for standing up for Mem."